searching the dark side of the mountain. Through my bones and hair and blood, words rise and cold snatched from my mouth to sink them into the cold black mud.
Hi everybody, welcome to our small town of Guilty Hole, West Virginia, right near the border of the great states of Kentucky and Ohio. Let me give you a little warning. Old Gods of Appalachia is a horror campaign that may contain material not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. The Guilty Hole Town Romp has ended, and it was a roaring success in some regards. Perhaps a little too much in the way of T.J. Booker's moonshine, perhaps, but otherwise dancing happened, food was perfectly cooked, and with just the right amount of lard and butter. A booker came by for poker and to steal a body, typical, and many secret divulgences found new ears to spread the Sedora legend. And the severed hand seems to have new life, and if you were paying attention, Volney took on a debt over that same poker game. So let's meet the people that matter most in this entire storytelling adventure. Hello, everybody. Why don't we let everybody go around and say who they are and where they can be found? Let's start with William.
Smart choice. Hi, I'm William Matheson. I am the cursed explorer who cannot escape the darkness, and I am also Celina. You can find me at ABCDFAR on Twitter, and then ABCDFAR11 on Instagram, if I'm remembering correctly. It's going to be in the chat. I'm just excited to more chaos, and this is the last game of October, so let's get spooky.
Volney, why don't you say who you are?
My name is Volney Hale Rogers, and I'm just a little guy. Just kidding. I'm an uncanny speaker who possesses the gift. And I am Jellyfishlines everywhere online. You can find me everywhere online at jellyfishlines.card, CARRD.co. And it's nice to have you all here.
All right, and Evangeline.
Hello, I'm Evangeline Antonia Blank, and Evangeline is an uppity explorer who would rather be reading. And I am Juicy Garland, a Boston area drag queen and super nerd. You can find me on the twitter.com and Blue Sky at Juicy Garland, one word. And you can find me on Instagram at juicy.garland.
All right, and Rahrah.
I'm Rahrah, and I'm playing Jericho Eligast, who is a superstitious herbalist who serves the green. I mostly hang out on Blue Sky as Rahrah.
And Annie, why don't we round it out with you?
All right. Howdy, y'all. I am Annie-Lynn McSweeney. I am an honorable protector who walks these woods. And in real life, you can find me at Lady 80 Paints on all social medias. And I stream, act, and commission paint miniatures.
I have actually bought miniatures painted by someone else. I didn't know you at the time. I would definitely commission you now.
Well. Well, I do paint.
So we are going to start with one particular person this evening. We're going to start with Evangeline in her room, getting prepared for the party that took place last week, the romp. And there is, oddly, a knock on the door.
Yes, enter, please.
And
Who is it?
it's Miss Blank. If you don't mind, I'd like to have a word with you if I could.
Sure. Please, come in. I'm almost done.
And she walks in. She looks around like it is exceedingly nice to have somebody who has style and taste in droves, if you don't mind me saying.
Oh, well, thank you. To what do I owe the visit?
Well, you were telling me. Let's start first with a drink, because I do love a drink before I divulge information like I'm about to tell you.
Yes.
If you don't mind.
Yes, if you don't mind, I'll continue moving. Yes, please. Talk and pour.
She pulls
Thank
out
you.
a flask and finds a couple of glasses that you have in there and
Yeah.
pours a little bit. Brings one over to you and one to her. This
Yes,
is
thank you.
TJ Booker's special brew. You have to, he has a special brew, right?
Oh, what is it? Oh, do tell.
It's kind of a Kentucky whiskey, but it is rich and deep. And she sips it rather than chugs it, rather than drinks it hard. It's got a smooth flavor, but it's also warm. I gotta thank him for making that kind of thing.
What does it taste like?
Like a good strong whiskey, but also warm and aged well.
That's rather lovely. Thank you for sharing. If I could perhaps at some point get a bottle of that myself, I would not be offended.
I can make that happen for you. That would not be too much of a difficulty. So,
But, yes, what did you wish to talk about?
so she sits down for a minute, and she looks around at the room and at you for a moment. She goes, "You are studying culture, right? Isn't that what you told me the other day?"
Yes. As a matter of fact, yes.
Well,
I'm a student and a teacher back home. Yes.
so what have you studied then in the time you've been here? Anything of interest?
Well, I have been here for limited time, but I've been studying the people, mostly, and their beliefs. I'm here because, ultimately, no one else has been. And it's my goal to understand the beliefs here and write about them, particularly the religious and intellectual beliefs of the people here. You see, it's important to me to understand what sort of beliefs people have developed that are different here because of the vacuum of power and really established beliefs in order to really understand the people here and write about them. I think that the people here are rather, interesting and therefore worthy of description.
Are there any people that you would like to study and meet that you have not had the opportunity or wherewithal to do so so far in your studies?
There are several interesting people. That Volney has some interesting beliefs and seems to be rather confident in them. And I think he would be a rather interesting well of ideas to probe, to start. But everyone here is rather interesting, and it's the aggregate set of ideas that I'm interested in, rather than specific individuals.
Have you heard of what the local folks called the feral people?
The feral people? No. No one has mentioned this. Do you mind if I take notes while we speak?
I have no problem with that.
Here, let me grab a piece of paper. So, tell me about these feral people.
Well, personally, I hate the term. I don't think it is correct or appropriate, but that is a colloquialism, I guess, as it were, for lack of a better word by those that are here.
What would you call them then?
I would call them distanced. They sort of want to separate from, the comings and goings of strangers, the things that happen around town, railroads, heck, even aeroplanes. I'm not even sure they would know what an aeroplane is, to be honest.
They're a sort of Luddite community then.
Luddites. That might be a more appropriate word, I suppose.
Interesting.
Interesting
Okay.
movement, the Luddites.
Yes. What else can you tell me?
Well, I know someone that knows someone that could potentially align a meeting up if you would like to have a word or two with their community. It is a very difficult community to have contact with. They are very good at avoiding all the things that everyone in town does to try and find them. You know, you've got to. They're hard to find. I will just leave it at that.
Yes. Do you know their origins? Are they originally locals here?
From my understanding, they were locals in a town that is no longer in existence, and they left en masse together and made community somewhere out in the dark wood, in the dark side of the mountain, away from the prying eyes of the local communities that we find here, and kind of stick to their ways and stick to their people.
Oh, that's rather interesting. Do you know why, A, the town may have, well, died, B, why they would have stayed rather than find another town?
I don't have an answer to either of those questions, but perhaps in your interviewing of them, you might ask them that.
I shall. That's fascinating. Thank you for this information.
I do have to head down in a moment to the party. I have my granny is going to be coming in, and I'd like to spend a little time with her when I can. It's very nice to see her here again. I haven't seen her in a while.
Yes.
And she says, I think we should meet up tomorrow. I will be out at I'm going to do a little business at the mine. I don't know whether I'll be at the mine or at the Love's residence.
Okay.
So if you'd like, I could swing back, or you could find me up there. It's not too long of a walk, and it's just up the hill. If you may not want to wear those shoes, though, pointing to the ones you're wearing or about to put on.
Oh, these are just the dancing shoes. Don't you worry
Yeah.
about that. I have sensible shoes for everything else. Thank you. If you don't mind my asking, what is your connection to these distanced people?
A cousin, twice removed, but still in connection. So I would say family, but not the closest of family.
Wow, interesting. Well, thank you for sharing. This is rather useful and definitely worthy of more investigation. Thank you.
Well, you can continue getting ready to go. You look spectacular, by the way.
Thanks.
I hope that we get a chance to dance tonight. I would love to show the locals what a little jazz dancing can look like.
Well, that would just be the bee's knees. We'll have to do the Charleston or something.
Oh.
Yes.
I wonder how they would take to that. I bet they would like it. It is a fast-moving, fast-paced, fun dance.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd blow their tops, but we can have fun nonetheless. We'll teach them.
And she stands up and says, well, maybe one day we'll meet in Boston, too, and you can show me around to your local feral people.
You mean Dorchester? Yes.
And she heads over to the door. Very nice meeting you again, and I hope we have more meetings like this. Door opens.
Indeed. I do sincerely appreciate it. Thank you.
And she heads out.
Huh.
And you're writing your notes, and the words as you're writing start getting a little bit blurry as you're going. And the room itself, when you look up from the little bit of blur, takes a little bit of getting used to. It seems like you kind of remember back to a tunnel you had been in once when you were a kid. You don't remember quite where it was, but it had a mosaic that ran the length of the tunnel, and some of the wallpaper in here kind of reminds you of that, and it comes in and out of like a blurry focus, like you've been drinking a little too much. And you actually kind of feel like you're there again, almost like you've been transported to this place. The room
What do
is
I see?
fanciful. Well, you see the wall, it looks to be covered in a mosaic made of copper and silver and brass tiles, small ones, delicate, purposefully placed. It all looks like, oh, you remember, it was a squid that went the length of the tunnel. It was gigantic. And you remember you were actually at the Tremont Hotel, and you were young. You were with your mother, who introduced you. Matter of fact, you remember you met the architect, whose name was Isaiah Rogers, as he explained the wonders of the hotel. And this was actually a secret tunnel that he was showing the two of you, which was going to be where the staff would move about the hotel secretly, so they could come and go without having to walk down the hotels or use the elevator, the first lift that you had ever seen in a hotel. And it was kind of spectacular, and it was all for the staff, which you found to be very interesting. But your mother seemed to trust him and knew that he was someone respected for his skills and capabilities. You don't remember where the tunnel goes, but you remember most looking at yourself in the tiles.
Interesting. Oh, God, my head. What time is it?
Do you have a timepiece in here? I don't know if you do.
I
It
would
is after
imagine-
dark. You know it's after dark is when who came by to see you?
Ah,
Someone came by to see you a little while ago, and they definitely, it was dark when they came in.
right. Are my notes still there?
Yeah, they're there. You can't really quite read them. As you do, it kind of, like the image of them doubles out and like blurs across your hand.
Well, I better head to the dance.
And you get up and you start, and you, like, the door is way at the end of this tunnel, and you realize that this is a long walk you're going to have to make to get to that door. Longer than you would have expected, and it's like you're seeing two places at once.
I am stubborn. I am going to try to get to that damn dance.
Okay.
Now, let's take a look at my skills. I don't know what skills I may have. I have an inability with magic,
Yep.
so that's not going to help me.
Nope.
However, I am trained in navigation.
Okay. I'm not sure that's a perfect fit here, but maybe you can remember navigating the hotel.
Okay. There's also... I'm trained in resisting mental effects.
That would be more effective than the navigation, I would suspect.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll give you a roll on that.
All right. Then I will roll.
Trained at it. You have a...
I rolled a 2, though.
Yeah, you're walking down the hall and trying to get to that doorway that you know is down there. You can kind of see it at the end of the tunnel. And as you're going, you see yourself in the tiles again, and it kind of reminds you of your childhood, how interesting it was, how it made new shapes of your face. It almost was like seeing someone else, both comforting and uncomfortable at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that was how it was when you were a child too. Even the tiles, because of every movement, seemed to move. If you moved, many tiles, dozens or hundreds, would move at one time with the reflections of whatever's going on, and it just felt like it was alive in and of itself. Matter of fact, you did not want calamari for a couple of days after. You kind of remembered that. It was, and did not sit right. And you continue walking, and you eventually find your way to that door, and you open it. And when you look back, you don't see the tunnel no more. You just sort of see your room again, and your notes are there. Your drink is there. You had done all your makeup there and gotten dressed and ready. And things seem to be mostly okay at this point. You just sort of like washed away.
Well, that was strange. And, she seems a bit less trustworthy. I dislike that. I'm gonna just write a note. I'm gonna go grab another piece of paper. If that cup is still there, I'm gonna write, like, on a piece of paper, possibly drugged, put the glass on it for later.
Okay.
And then if I am clear-headed enough,
Right.
leave for the party.
Okay. You do feel clear-headed enough, although you do have a little bit of a headache, but nothing too serious.
Yeah, like,
it is definitely very dark now, though. You head outside and you realize it is pretty late.
yeah, and knowing it's a bit of a walk, I may ask the landlord, whose name I'm having a hard time finding. Chief
Yeah, Chewy.
Chewy, there we go. Chewy to escort me if he is home.
Chewy is not there.
Well, then on would I go.
All right, you head down and you get to what seems to be the remnants of the romp. People look tired. They are all chatting. The musicians have put away their instruments, but there are still people hanging out on the walkways and next to some of the buildings, and they have like a serious look on their face. It does not look like they are having a good time. And you do see T.J. Booker's truck, and he is looking at a flattened tire, trying to figure out how to get that dealt with. And
Wow. This seems to have turned out rather grimly.
yeah, I would say so. Your friends, I think they went to, what was his name? Jericho's house.
Do I know where Jericho lives?
Do you? Have you been there?
They stopped by with Volney on the way home
Yes.
from the tomb.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I suppose I'll go on that way then. I didn't realize it was so late. Thank you. And I will
And turns
mosey
back to
on,
his tire.
heels and all.
You are back at your house, Jericho, and the rest of you, and the door, and you actually get a warning that someone is approaching. You get a tingle from one of your wards.
Friend or foe, Tingle?
A friend tingle.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have company. I
Now,
felt
are
a
we
tingle.
killing this thing? This thing grew. Are
The
we killing
company?
it? No. The hand.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you think, Volney?
You put an axe into it, and it healed it.
I did.
I think whatever this is, it's something we don't understand.
Yeah.
It's something that Granny Snora's looking for. It's something her granddaughter's probably looking for.
We could probably give it over to the game warden as like a rare animal.
That ain't no animal I've never seen, living or dead. I ain't taking that. Trust me. You don't want the government to take that. Can you imagine what they'll do with it?
Evangeline, you see that there are lights on inside, and you can see the shadows of people walking past the door, past the window, I mean. Looks like they're talking.
What if we set it on fire?
I mean,
Word.
might not be a bad idea.
And
We
you'll
could just
hear a
set fire
knock.
to it inside the jar.
You'll hear a knock at the door. Hello?
Come on in, Miss Evangeline.
Hello?
Where you been? Where you been? Come on in. Where you been?
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure, frankly.
Are you okay?
I think so. Rather distressing, frankly. It's all a bit fuzzy. I was getting ready, and then, suddenly I was a bit foggy. And, I don't know if I was drugged or not, but, there's a bit of missing time. And then I went over down to the party, and, it seemed to be over. The boothsmith appeared to be a little out of sorts, told me you were all over here, and now I'm here.
The party got interesting.
What happened?
Oh, Annie, William.
Granny
I
Sinora.
guess. Yeah, Granny Sidora, is not who she seems to be. I guess is the best way to say it. She's a spook or something. There's a booger. I don't know. It's not right.
Perhaps back up a little bit. So first, who is Granny Sidora? Second, a booger?
Right.
Ghost.
Yeah.
I guess.
it's a ghost.
Oh,
Remember what we saw at the tomb yesterday morning? The spirit.
vaguely, yes.
Yeah. It appears Granny Sidora is there, but in their romp form. The form they dance in.
Right. Right.
She came in looking like a mountain lady with regular old lady clothes on, regular old lady looking face. She didn't have any shoes on. She also came with her 6 boys, I think. She called them her sons.
Weak
I don't know.
handshakes, all of them.
They had the same bare feet as well. Oh, and Sela Keziah, if you remember that wonderful lady, ran up and hugged her and said that was her grandma.
That's who came to see you. It dawns on you now. You remember the face and who it was.
Would you also call this Granny one of the feral people, perhaps?
It's a
That would depend on
possibility,
the
but
translation of that. She was educated to an extent. She understood. She knew people there at the romp.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how feral the ferals get, to be honest.
All right. Never mind then.
She had a $5 bill.
Did she say that she, something about being there long or knowing people that have been around long?
Oh, yeah. Multiple
Granny,
times.
yeah.
So, Evangeline,
Yeah.
was she talking about knowing that these feral types of people had been around in the area long?
It does dawn on me that it was Sela Keziah who had visited, and perhaps had slipped something in my drink. She had mentioned that there were feral people nearby for some time.
They also-
Non-specific about the length, but sometime, yes.
She
It
said they were.
appears they. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Amy.
No, it's all right. She said they were kin of hers then, yeah?
Yes, distantly, but yes, cousins of some sort. But I know
They
the term.
cousin.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly it. I was going to say the term cousin here is a bit more plastic than up north.
They put everyone to sleep through magic before she even took on her ghost-like appearance. None of us were affected, oddly enough, and neither was the bootlegger, possibly yourself.
Through what?
Yeah, some sort of magic made everyone fall asleep except for the grip of us. And then
I
they
think it
played
was the
cards.
music.
You're such
the
a
musicians
fascinating
fell
man.
asleep too, while playing.
I don't know. It was
You
like,
missed quite the party.
She asked them to play some gambling music, and then
We played poker with her. It was my bright idea.
hey, I mean honestly, it was a good thought.
Just thought I could get some information out of her, and what's better than
We did.
gambling over money than getting information, you know?
It does sound like quite a party. I mean, magic, poker, and sleeping. Anything else?
I hit somebody in the head with the back of my axe. I did not play poker.
Brute violence. Wow.
It was for his own good.
What about you, Volney?
Volney
sang.
sang beautifully.
With the kids.
Like an angel, they said. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Should I be honest?
Please.
Be honest on me.
As an angel, yes.
Evangeline, I'm sorry for roping you into this, all of you, but I made a deal. I cut a deal.
What?
Granny Sonora, that's no lie. She was that thing that was in the tomb.
Okay.
And she said that she was going to take one of us away. And in order to get her to stop, I cut a deal.
And
We'll,
Okay.
we'll all support you through that, Volney.
What did you promise?
Volney points towards the jar.
I mean,
Oh, that's fine. They can have that.
I was gonna say I don't know if I really care if they have the hand or not. I mean, we could still kill it and give them back the hand, and it's like, yeah, we found it like that, you know?
Yeah. Barbara and I aren't even attached at all yet.
My issue is that what if that
You
wasn't...
named it! Wait a minute.
Wait,
Did you name the hand?
Well, I fed it earlier, so I just thought it would...
wait a minute. What do you mean?
Why is it
Fed it?
I just gave it some dirt. Just starting at the bottom, worked my
Wait.
way up.
It's just a dead hand, right?
But it's growing.
No, it's
What?
Yes.
Look at it. It's like you can see
Oh my
there's like
God.
a wrist.
It's in a jar,
the-
though.
It's I need to get a bigger
Because
jar
it's
next
having
time I'm
4
in town.
square meals a day, thanks to Restaurant to Jericho. Thanks.
And
Well,
when you're
Why
looking
does
at
the
it,
damn hand eat?
the hand does something like this while you're looking at it.
Oh, hi,
Like-
Barbara. See, it's starting to get its own name.
No, its name
No,
is
you
Daisy.
shouldn't name it.
Its name is Daisy.
What? It could be Daisy. What if Daisy lost the hand, though? And now it's grown into 2 daisies.
that's my issue. What if that's what happened?
It's weird that you got yourself so up in this, Volney, but like everyone needs hobbies and passions, and the community's here for you.
Look here. I don't understand why we all didn't fall asleep, but we all didn't fall asleep. So question is, whose family cut what deals?
Well, apparently my daddy did. I don't know what he did, but he did something with her. Back in the day, before I was born.
What?
I don't know shit about the Sidoras. That's the first time I've ever met anybody.
I'm just protected on high.
Can we pause for a moment and reflect on the fact that magic appears to, in fact, be real?
Well, I mean, the ghost
I'm
made
trying
the
to
big,
figure out.
like, shadow thing earlier. Yeah, that was a weird thing.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
were
know.
punching bats, Miss Evangeline, at the
Like
moment. No, crows. You were punching crows, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Should
just
be.
birds, right?
Should-
Like,
There's also the spit,
Probably-
the booger. It's been a long day.
It
Yeah.
has been. Volney woke up in a creek this morning.
what?
I'm starting to get a headache. All that. She also tried to get us drunk.
Tried.
Succeeded.
She did.
I got a little bit of headache. I have a bit more of a tolerance. But
Well, God. Okay. So the magic thing wasn't just a figure of speech. That
No. This is real. This is real life.
This is what's happening now.
I'm just as shocked as you, Miss Evangeline.
All right. Lead the way then. What do we do next?
I think it's bedtime, isn't it?
Oh man.
I mean, I could sweep the floor, but there's not a lot of room.
I need a full night's sleep. Oh, also, along with the rest of our problems, my sister will be in town tomorrow.
That's
Wait
great
a
news.
Wait a minute, William.
Mm.
Your sister might have something to do with this.
Mm,
You know how
why?
you didn't? Well, you know how you didn't fall asleep.
Right.
You know how I didn't fall asleep? It's because my dad
Right.
did something. Your sister
Well-
may have done something. You got to talk to her.
I mean, I will. I'm gonna go pick her up in the morning, but
Hold on. William, what number of kids are you? Where are you in that line?
second son.
You're the second son?
Girls after that.
What if your parents didn't pay back a debt?
I mean, we don't live near, like, close. I don't know if we have any connections to the Sidoras at all, if any. I had to hoof it a good bit before I even got here.
Maybe not them, but maybe the Sidoras have kinfolk in your neck of the woods.
Suppose it's a possibility.
Or we just all have high mental constitution and their cheap tricks could not work on us.
I mean,
Hey,
my thought process was that she wanted information from us as well. We were all participating in the game, so she wasn't letting us go to sleep.
yeah, but if she didn't have any use for you, she seems like the type of woman that just would have put you right to sleep like that.
But if I was in the game, then you guys would be concerned, right?
Right, but
Didn't want to give up the game too quickly. I don't know.
I'm watching that hand, seeing if it's like trying to move the jar towards the edge.
what's Barbara doing? Apparently now the hand has a name.
It's
Barbara Daisy.
it's
It's full
Barbara
name.
Daisy.
Make her
its
little
fingers
sweater.
move a little bit here and there, but if you watch it long enough, you can kind of see it kind of growing. You know where its wrist is, and it just kind of, it's like sinew is kind of reaching out and then coalescing.
Gorgeous. Volney, you might just want to follow that thing to the pig that you now owe, tied to your soul, to a barefoot lady from the woods. It might lead you right to it.
What?
Wait. What if this thing, I don't want this thing falling into the wrong hands, so to speak. Sorry to have a pun there, but
Oh, Annie, pun.
I
That
stole
was a
your
bit
thunder.
heavy-handed, I will have to say.
But you know what I mean, like, don't you think this this hand might not be safe with these people?
I mean, when it grabbed you, Volney, did it hurt you, or was it just like, hello, I'm Barbara?
It tried to grab me, but it managed to not. I was fast enough to not get it to grab me. I look towards the jar, and I look back at everybody, and I start walking towards the jar.
Only.
We should probably go to bed soon, Volney.
We gotta we gotta sleep. I'm dog tired.
Yeah, Volney hasn't slept in like 46 hours. He just woke up in
We
the
na-
crib.
we napped a little bit. We napped a little bit in the front of the
That's right, that's right.
in the hotel. But
Well, what's everyone got going on tomorrow? We can meet back here bright and early and follow a hand.
Also, it does
the sister.
beg the question,
Speaking
why
of-
did Selikaziah try to keep me from going over to the dance? What
Maybe
was
to
the
prevent
purpose?
her granny from taking you, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe your viewpoint would draw more attention than the mutterings of a bunch of us backwoods types.
You have no debts.
Probably.
Yeah, that's
Or you were smart enough to figure it out, honestly.
I had a strange dream
Mm.
while drugged. I guess if magic is real, maybe I have to share this. It brought me back to what I think was a memory of childhood with my mother. Up in Boston, there was a new building, and there was this tunnel, ridiculously, for all the help, and there was this beautiful mosaic of a squid with different metallic chips, copper and silver. And it was just this magnificent squid, but it was deeply unsettling. I tried to find a way out and had a difficult time, but eventually did, and woke up back in my room. I don't know if I was asleep for the time your folks were asleep, or if that was something different completely. But
Well,
if the vision's significant in the dream, there it is.
well, that's an interesting thing because the music stopped not long. Well, we left after we had one last song just to get folks out of the funk of falling asleep on the ground. But maybe that may have been, it may have been that the music, you're able to, you're too far.
Oh,
She didn't want you there for some reason.
there was something in the drink.
A published, respected author saying, "Look at what's going on here," draws a lot of attention.
That's true.
Versus someone like myself being like, "Magic's real."
Did any of you have was it a whiskey? Or something? Sella gave me a whiskey, I think it was. From your local booze smith.
I had, oh geez, how many shots did I have? Granny Sedora was just, she had $5 and just bought Volney and I shots.
I
Oh,
drank.
that was kind.
I drank.
Volney, constitution of, I mean, that was insane. I've never seen that before. I had 4 or 5 and Volney just shot down 6 at one point.
Good
oh
spot.
my god.
And you didn't fall asleep or anything.
But this was after.
No,
Granny,
we were playing poker.
Ah. You kept
Yeah.
your wits.
This was after. Granny
Somehow.
came in.
Right. Well,
But
that's
yeah,
impressive.
She was getting us boozed up heavy.
He came in and received our hospitality. We smoked and ate together. We danced, and she still betrayed the laws of that. So, a curse upon her head for breaking bread and then twisting the knife. Just saying. You don't accept food and board and then betray. There's old things against that. But then she turned into a booger ghost, so it might not matter much.
Did you get your drink from the same keg or whatever as the others?
It was whatever Granny had poured for us. I don't know what it was. We'd have to talk to TJ.
Okay.
And I didn't drink anything, and all of us stayed awake.
Annie was still nursing from the moonshine early this
I
afternoon.
drank punch. I did drink punch. And who knows what they did to that, if
Well, then-
anything.
Maybe it was then something else. Never mind.
I mean, it's not a bad idea to look into whatever you got, whatever she gave you, but...
I could set up a
Okay.
little tent in the front yard in the boat, and we could all just have a little sleepover. Talk about it through the night.
Volney has.
Hey y'all, maybe I should say this. The other day when I was drunk, now we're sharing dreams and weird visions. When I went into my house to see my dad, when I opened the door, he was what I think was him was smoking, and not smoking as in smoking a cigarette, but his whole body was smoke and his eyes were glowing white. Then
You
when
did seem a little off when I left you at your house.
yeah,
Bird moonshine can make you go blind.
I know, but this ain't blindness. It was like I saw something. Would have been made more sense if I seen nothing.
You saw what I saw when I was a kid.
You seen that too?
When I was little, in the mine, I was playing in a mine that I shouldn't have been playing in. And I was in the dark, and then I saw some lights. And then they went out. And then I felt somebody grip my hand and guide me back out of that mine. I went in the morning, it was sunset by the time I got out, and I swear on the good Lord's heart, I was only there for a couple of hours.
Well,
Okay,
now that you've already brought this up, what is your deal with hands? Like, I feel like that's been a point.
A very weird motif in my life.
All of us have
Also,
noticed it, Volney.
what are you gonna do with the jar?
I'm just intrusive thought time. Volney wants to shake it a little bit. Just gently.
I mean, have at thee. Jericho's
I
brushing
can't
his
stop you.
teeth, getting ready to go to sleep.
Volney's like gently shaking the jar and
All
saying
right.
like,
Can you make me an intellect roll, please?
yeah,
Against the
sure.
Come on, roll good.
19.
All right.
Woo!
So you're shaking it, and
Barbara,
it's just sort of banging against the glass, and it sort of like pulls like into a kind of a bit of a fist to kind of not take injury from what you're doing, it seems. And when you're done, it kind of opens up again, and it was weird. It was kind of protecting itself, it seemed to you.
Oh no. It's cute. Oh no.
Baby.
using my
I'm
new
s-
crafting skill, I make a little sign that says "Do not shake or tap on glass," and I will put it in the jar.
I mean, I'm still very much happy to just like smash it with my axe, if I'm being honest.
I already
It ain't
did
gonna
that.
Tried that.
Yeah.
Well, you got into the palm. I'm saying like fully chopping it to pieces and then just giving it back to the Sidoras because I really could
If
not.
it's growing,
Oh,
what do
if you
think it's
chop
gonna
it, you
do?
shouldn't give it back to him.
Well,
Didn't say it
wait a
sounded
minute.
like that.
Fire didn't kill it.
That's true.
Think about it. It was in a burning wreck, and it crawled out just fine.
I still think we need to chase this thing through the woods on like a
I
little
don't
leash.
In the
A
morning. Jeez. Oh god.
It ain't
I'm
no
so tired.
dog, Jericho.
But I mean, how else will we maintain
Hang
sight
on.
on it? It'll get away from us so quick if we don't have it tied up.
No, Jericho has a point.
With a dog.
We're gonna
Folks,
need
it's a
little
hand,
leash.
not a puppy. Just leave it in the jar.
I think I
Yeah.
learned how to craft, Annie.
Well, I'm wondering if I don't know. If there's a way for this hand. I mean, does it understand English? Can you talk to it? Can it sign? Can it know sign language? I mean, I don't know
Barbara.
sign language.
Can I
Barbara.
try?
Tap on the glass if you understand me.
Nothing happens.
I doubt Swahili and Mandarin will work, but you could try those.
Oh, sure. I don't think it'll work.
Need to get like a clear ball of sorts that we can put it in, and then it'll just run through the woods and that, and we won't need a leash. Like a little handball. I could go for
I'm
that.
too tired for that thought.
Maybe we should come
Process.
back tomorrow, think about this, because I gotta go talk to my dad in the morning about what the hell he been doing with some weird feral folk.
I think that's a real good idea, Annie.
You
Yeah, I
should.
gotta pick up my sister.
And
Oh,
yeah, you gotta go see that sister of yours. Ask
At
her
least
a
we
few
have an
questions.
activity for tomorrow for when she's around, so you're not just bored.
No, I'm not pulling her into this. If there is something to pull her into, God, she's just a kid. She's my
That's
little
true.
sister. I can't do
Is she
that.
young? All right. Good night, everyone.
Evangeline, are you gonna stay in town or walk all the way back out to your room and board?
I hadn't really thought of that yet. I probably should go back to my room, but it is rather late, and I don't really want to go into the woods alone again.
I'll walk you home, Miss Evangeline.
Are you
Okay.
sure?
Yeah, I could use a stroll.
I'm more than happy to. I mean, if you want,
Oh, how about I'll walk you all to town and then William can take you the rest of the way?
I suppose that's fine.
never hurts to have an escort, especially with all this shit going on.
Are you
Yes.
sure you're leaving the hand alone?
Oh yeah, I was here the whole time during the romp. I slept with it under my head last night. Not even in a jar. Hear that? Yeah.
Right. Well, good night, everybody. I got my rifle. I can take care of myself, and I live just down the way anyway.
Now it's the awkward part where we're walking 10 feet behind Annie, all going in the same direction.
No, I'm
Jenny
just
said
like
goodnight.
used to see Annie like quivering like really, really intensely as I'm like smoking my cigarette because I'm just like magic is real, magic is real.
Before Volney puts the hand down, he's going to whisper, just Vincent. Nothing.
Nothing.
Hmm?
Holding the door open. Volney.
I'm coming. One second. I'm actually going to set it on the floor so that way if it like decides to try and knock itself down, it won't shatter and like break.
That's a good idea.
Not a bad plan.
Good thinking. And I lock up.
You lock up.
I'm just going to take a stroll into town. Walk everyone back at least that far. Clear my
Right.
head.
You all head into the night. Nothing of consequence happens to you as you get to town and you get back to where you needed to get to. Evangeline gets walked home. William and Volney get back to the hotel to get some rest. Annie gets home. Evangeline gets back to Chewy's. Chewy is sleeping on the couch. There was the big cover over himself. It's a little chilly. Not too bad, though. And you don't have any issues getting your sleep in. Are you going back to go to sleep, Jericho?
I was going to go by the brothel to see my friend Fernanda, who I pay to sing mariachi music to me while I cry. So I'm going to greet my old friend, a little embarrassed that I don't remember Spanish nearly as well as she does.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna weep with everything that's happened in the last 24 hours while she sings beautiful music at me.
And the music is super soothing. She's super happy to see you. She gives you a big hug when you come in, welcomes you in. You know, everyone else there, they welcome you and they know who you are. And they've probably heard the stories because they'll smile at you in a way that they don't smile at everybody.
Yeah, you're here to cry, aren't you? And then after that, I will head back home.
Okay. When you come out of her room, the one thing you notice is that it is really quiet in the brothel. There's no one else there this early in the morning, and the workers are all sitting sort of in nearby the door that you were in. It looks like some of them have cigarettes, or a couple of them have cigars, and they look like they were just listening to the music outside the door. And they move their chairs when you come out. Oh, sorry. If you don't mind, we were kind of taking in some of your benefit.
I'll light a cigarette and just sit with him for it till I walk home. Remembering the desert and just how big it was. He loves the green, but there's something to be said about a place you can imagine titans running the earth before man, and no clouds, just an endless sky. And he remembers the desert and walks home through dense green forests while fiddling with his pocket watch that has the J and the E on it.
And you get home with no incidents. When you get home, Annie, your pa is in a chair, smoking also. Looks like he's half asleep. You're home. I'm glad to see you got home.
You up for talking much?
In the middle of the night, I mean, if you need to talk about something, sure, but you must be tired too.
You know, it's burning on my mind. It's absolutely burning on my mind. I gotta talk to you now.
Okay.
You seen that strange looking older lady at the Ron tonight? Not wearing any shoes, with 6 big men behind her.
I did. Before I fell asleep. I fell asleep at some point. I don't recall quite when. Seemed like a lot of us did, though.
You fell asleep. Right. You see me playing poker with her?
I saw a group of you playing poker with her for a little while.
Little while. You see, you wouldn't have seen that if you was asleep. Because right when I started to play poker, everybody around me fell asleep. So I'm going to ask you a question, and you got to answer right quick. What kind of deal you make with them?
Honey, I don't know what you're insinuating here. When you say a deal, I mean, did I work for the Sidoras for a bit? Yes, of course. Everybody around here at some point seemed to work with the Sidoras. I mean, they were important to the town.
Do you know what they are, though? They ain't normal people.
They're wealthy.
Yeah, they're wealthy. But they ain't normal, if you know what I mean.
And he gets up and he takes a drag of his cigarette. You know what? Maybe it's time for you to sit down.
All right, I'm sat. I just sit down in the chair.
And he goes
They're just
over.
like.
I did work with the Sidoras. I actually helped some of them gather quite a bit of money on their own. You know, the town is called Guilty Hole because of the secret mine that dug into the deep mines, right? Well,
Yeah, I know. You done told me that since I've been a kid.
what I didn't tell you though is I'm the one that found it for them and found the way through to where the coal lines ran.
Right.
And they own the land, of course, but they paid us. I mean, this house was paid for because of my work with them. They were good to our family. You know, it was not easy to find work at that time, and it was not easy to find work that paid better than you know, normal, I guess. And I found my way through those mines in ways. I crawled through holes that would barely fit a child, and I found a way through them because I knew I had to take care of my family and make some money. And you know, Mrs. Drury, Miss Sidora.
Wait, who? What?
Miss Drury.
Drury. Okay.
Yeah.
That's her name. That's Granny Sidora's name.
Yeah. That's her. Yeah.
All right.
Miss Drury
See, we got
Sidora.
names now, don't we? Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
there
Keep
was
talking.
some things are very hard to say to your child.
I'm all ears. You know I'm not a child no more. I'm 30 years old. I can hear anything I want to hear.
You'll be my baby girl no matter if you're 60, 70, 80, 100 years old. You know, that's how it works.
I know, but I'm starting to draw some doubts because they come to collect people, all right? And I'm not talking just on money or interest. They was about to steal Irvin, all right? And I don't like the guy much
When
myself.
you were a
In
child,
fact,
they were about to steal you, and I had to give mother to them to keep you alive and keep you safe. So don't tell me about the debts one has to pay. I know the debts we have to pay in this life. I have paid debts, and I have had to give up the hardest thing that a person could possibly give up, other than their own child. I know what debts are.
So you didn't do anything. You didn't fight back. You didn't try and kill him. You didn't
Of
try
course
and
I
you gave her
did.
away.
I
You gave her
know
away like she was some rabid dog. You just gave her away, huh?
I couldn't kill them. I tried to kill them. I put a knife through that lady's back so many times that day, and she rose up like a devil. And there was nothing I could do, and you were going to be taken next. And your mother sacrificed herself to make sure that you survived. I sacrificed to make sure you would make it. I am so sorry that you are finding this kind of thing out. It is something I was hoping to leave in my heart and go to my grave with it. I cannot believe that you now are going to hear. And he gets up and he heads to the door and he opens it. I'll see you in the morning. And he closes the door hard and he walks out into the dark.
Where are you going?
I'll be back in the morning. I'm so sorry.
Fine.
I'm so sorry, he
Stay
says.
out. I don't need your sympathy. I don't need your apologies. You just stay out. Shit. Then I take a drag of a cigarette myself and just punch the wall really hard and just get super upset and just start sobbing, profusely sobbing, and just take my hat off and sink down just against the wall and just quiver and shake and cry.
All right. Jericho, you're on your way home and you see somebody passing you by. It's Mr. McSweeney. He looks away as he walks. And
Mr. McSweeney, good to see you twice in one day.
And he just sort of shakes his hand. Can you leave me alone for a little while? I need to be alone.
Fair's fair. Enjoy the garden.
And he heads past you.
I head home.
Make me an intellect roll at a 3.
And a natural 17.
All right. When he turns, you see him wipe his eye, and you hear a little bit of a little sniffle maybe, and he just keeps on walking.
Torn between a respect for one's elder and concern, I think I'll just probably ghost him at a distance to make sure he gets to town.
He's in town. You're passing him in town, and as
then
I'll
head back.
You're kind of at the edge of town, and you see that there's a lamp light flickering in the McSweeney house.
I'll, again, not wanting to overstep things, will probably light knock and be like, Annie, you good? I'm just on my way home.
What do you want,
the
there?
door. I was just making sure it was good. I just saw your dad, but I was heading home to go to bed.
No, don't. You better come in. I gotta tell you something really important.
Okay. I'll go in.
You want something to drink?
Why are you on the floor, Annie?
Well, I done found out that when I was, I guess, a baby, my my dad decided that, well, I guess my mama decided that they were gonna have her be taken instead of me
Taken.
for the debt that my daddy owed to the Sidoras.
The same Sidora as tonight?
Same one. I actually got her name.
Mm-hmm.
It's Drury, I think.
I mean, that'll be useful when it's time for vengeance, but right now I'm worried about my friend.
It's all right.
I don't have any
Yeah.
more jars on me.
You weren't here a few minutes ago. I was probably howling at the moon like a crazed wolf or something. I was so angry.
If you need help sleeping, Annie, I see your dad's morphine kit right over there.
I ain't gonna use that shit. I'm probably not gonna sleep a wink tonight.
Deal, then just smoke some of this with me.
Right.
What are we gonna do, Annie? There's all these people in our town. There's all this violence in our town. There's one old lady that has the audacity to tell me I don't belong here when she comes and terrorizes the children of this town. I don't know.
She's 31, don't belong here, even though she claims she's been here like what, 200 years or something.
I don't know. She knew about Monopoly, so maybe she gets some sort of magazine out in that pit.
You know what I just thought of?
No, but I bet you'll tell me.
Remember that old woman I've been talking about? You.
Mm-hmm.
She's like old as hell. Everybody thinks she's like 500 years old.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What does she knows about these people?
I mean, even if she's as old as a normal life, she's older than everyone else, so she's probably interacted with them a few times.
Yeah, but I wonder if she knows. I mean, maybe with age come wisdom. Maybe she knows if there was a family at some point that survived the taking or something. We need all the help we can get, honestly.
See, she might lie to us, but would she lie to the published author Evangeline Blanc if she's here to uncover something dastardly and dark in the woods?
That's right. We can go under the guise that we're interviewing her for the newspaper or paper, whatever the hell she's writing.
And where can we get some gunpowder, Annie? Like large amounts of it.
Well, see, that's what I was thinking about. My daddy said he tried to stab this woman like 10 times in the back. If a knife won't do it, a bullet certainly won't do it. So we gotta find...
But what if we explode a crypt in the woods?
Well, I don't know. I don't think this...
That might just make it real mad, huh?
Yeah, we gotta find something more powerful than that, honestly. If this thing's magical, we gotta fight fire with fire, if you understand what I mean.
Have you been to Howling Rock Cave, Annie?
Have we been to Howling Rock Cave?
You've probably gone in once or twice. It is a huge cavern. No one's ever reached the end of it, as a matter of fact. It goes on for miles and miles.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've been in, but I don't think I had gone to the end of it.
I don't know. If we can't hurt this ghost, perhaps we have to find something that can.
You think something's in there that can kill it?
I know you've had a day, Annie, but there are powers and principalities in the smallest blade of grass in the deepest caverns. You just have to know how to make friends and how to ask them for help.
Right.
It's hard to explain. It's easier to know once you've been terrified for years.
Right, I know what you're talking about. That stuff you done
Yeah.
did with your...
That
Yeah.
stuff. But you should just sleep on that tonight. You've had enough revelations for one day. Hell, no, you've had more than the Bible.
Well, ain't nobody taking me up to heaven yet.
Right, so we got to get Miss Evangeline on this. William, I think I'm starting to trust William with our lives a little bit. He's a strong, sturdy lad. And did you see what Volney did? Not the making the deal part, but no, that's what Volney did, actually. Uh,
We gotta keep them close, all right?
maybe
'Cause
saved our lives, though. It's hard to tell.
we all done seen that plane crash. We all done seen the weird crap that happened at the romp. We gotta keep this circle really close because if more people find out about this, I don't know, it's gonna cause panic, hysteria, you know.
I never thought Bernard dying would make all this start happening like a strange chain of events. I'm put
You
on
and
my...
those spiders of yours. Stop naming things. You get too attached.
I do, Annie. I do. Are you gonna be good tonight?
I'll be fine. That stuff you gave me to smoke, it's already doing its work. I'm going to sleep.
All right. You got your gun?
Oh, you know Annie's always got her gun.
All right, just like shoot my roof or something if you need help. I'll hear it.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
I'm gonna head home.
Okay. When you get home, the jar is on its side and has kind of
Barbara.
rolled into the corner.
So much to tell you. I'll go to bed.
Volney, William, you both get to sleep, and in the morning, you hear some, people waking up, walking down the hall, whatnot. William, you kind of get up after a good night's sleep.
Early.
You're used to getting up early to go to work anyway, so you've got
That and
special
just-
things on your hand today.
Anxiety.
When you head out, though, you go past a door that is left cracked open, I suppose. And you realize that's the photographer's room.
I'll just kind of on the door frame, just knock, just a little.
And you get no answer.
I know that we got his name, I believe, but off the top of my head, I do not remember.
You did.
But I would just say,
His name was Parcel.
Mr. Parcel, and just knock a little bit
Nope.
harder.
No answer in there.
I'll just kind of, with the my hand, just kind of push the door open without actually passing the entrance.
The room looks like it's been gone through. He is not here, but there is a lot of missing stuff. And you do not see the photograph you had seen the day before. It seems to be gone.
Does it seem like he just quickly packed up and left?
No, things
Or
are knocked
that
over and whatnot.
Gotcha.
Look through.
Then I think I'll run down to the service desk or whatever the equivalent is, and just
Yes.
say,
What can I help you with, Mr. Matheson?
the Mr. Parcel's room, the photographer,
Yes.
his room seems to have been broken into.
Oh my.
It's trashed.
Oh, I'll get the.
Have you seen him this morning?
I'll get the sheriff right away. No, I have not seen him this morning.
Okay, well that
You're
doesn't seem
sure
good
about
either.
that? How,
His door
what do you
was
mean?
open as I was walking by. I saw it was open, so I went to investigate.
She snaps at one of the people who work there, the porters, and the porter comes over and the desk attendant, can you go check Mr. Leon's room and see what's going on there? Look, Mr. Matheson just said that his room may have been broken into. And she leaves. The porter heads up to the room, and she comes back. I think Mr. Matheson's right. It looks like it was run through. Everything's knocked over, and I don't know. And she goes, "All right, can you go get the sheriff, please? We need to have law enforcement on this."
Glad to at least help.
Volney, you wake up when you hear some kind of activity out in the hallway. You're on mute.
Darn. Oh, God. Oh, dear Lord, I haven't woken up this late in years. I should probably go check on what's going on out there.
And you go out, and as you're heading down the hall, you see that a porter is there kind of looking in the room and then leaves the door open still, and runs back to the front. And as you go by, you see that it is the photographer's room, and it is quite a mess. Things have been knocked over, things spilled. Some of those weird chemicals that he used were, have been knocked over and whatnot. Can you make me an intellect roll?
I can't read. I can't read. I literally can't read it because of the light. Wait, let me...
Hold it to the camera then. Maybe I can read it. Huh?
It's 3. It's bad.
Okay. All right. So you look around, and a moment later you hear down the hall, "We need to get the sheriff. Looks like it was broken into." And you hear William down there talking to them too.
I'm getting out of this room, and I'm going to go find William.
Okay. And William is right there.
Oh, hey, Volney.
Hey. What happened?
I don't know. His room was broken into. The picture's gone, too.
I still remember what it looks like.
Me too, but whatever that was, is gone. I don't want to leave this in a mess, but there's not much else I can do. And law enforcement's on the way. I need to go pick up my sister. You're more than welcome to come if you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Just gotta head over to the train station. I find out actually when she's supposed to be here. She didn't say in her letter. Just start with axe in tow constantly now at this point, since there's just danger abound everywhere. Just kind of has it hooked, almost like blade facing backwards, just kind of hooked over his shoulder, and just walking.
The two of you head over to the train station. When you get there, there is a posted schedule of train arrivals. There is one arrival today, supposedly at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, of the Baltimore and Ohio.
Okay, she'll be here at 5. What time is it right now?
Early in the morning.
Check my watch.
7 a.m. Do you have a watch?
Okay.
That's a pretty costly...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, you did have a watch.
One of my few nice things.
Yep, it's a nicety. It's about 7 in the morning now, after you're walking over and whatnot.
Okay. We got some hours. I think we should... Okay. What's the next step? I know you have the thing with the hand. I know we should probably... Annie was gonna talk to her dad. Might not be a bad idea to kind of start trying to round everybody back up.
Yeah.
Do you want to go find Evangeline or Jericho?
I can try and go find Evangeline and Jericho.
Okay.
You get Annie.
Gotcha. Do we want to meet at Annie's or Jer's?
Jer's.
Okay.